Good day to our viewers and our subscribers. And for this video lecture, we are going to continue our discussion, our presentation on the different learning theories. And during the part one of this video lecture series, we have started discussing the different learning theories. We tackled behaviorist theories, and we started discussing the first part of the cognitive theories. Okay, and for this video lecture series, we are going to start with the different concepts, common concepts of cognitive theories. And first concept of this video lecture is about learning. Okay, so again, we knew, okay, the behaviorist theories have a different point of view in terms of learning, and according to them, the acquisition of knowledge and skills that changes a person's behavior. Okay, that is learning for this group of people, group of behaviorist theories. For the cognitive theories, learning is the acquisition of knowledge than on the resulting behavior change. So again, behaviorists focus on what is observable, what is seen, and they conceptualize learning as simple as a muscle movement, as a reflex. Okay. On the other hand, the cognitive theories believe that the things unseen, okay, unobservable things that is happening in the mental processes of an individual is more important in terms of learning. Okay, and this brought about more concerns with what the knowledge means to a person than they are with whether the person's behavior will change or not as a result. Okay, so again, the difference there is one, for the behaviorist, they focus on what is observable, they focus on the behavior as their group name root word implies. Then for the cognitive ones, they focus more on the cognition, perception, memory. Okay, and generally it's in the mental and information processes of an individual or of a person. Then the learning is the process whereby novices become expert. And as being told in the previous video, learning is happening throughout life. It is dynamic, it is evolving. Okay, and usually learning is domain specific. Okay, domain specific learning. And when you say domains, it has many different types. Okay, these types of learnings or areas of learnings or aspects of learning usually also differs to the theories. Okay, to those people who coined it, those people who thought of it. Okay, and we have, for example, we have Bloom's taxonomy. He has his own domains of learning. Robert Gagne, in his theories, he has also different domains of learning. Okay, and the amount of knowledge and understanding you already possess on a subject, on a topic, on a certain principle will have a tremendous influence on what and how you learn. Okay, um, the foundation that you have, the basis that you have. Okay, in schema theory, the schemas that you have, then the created schemas, the evolved schemas, okay, or schemata, and that would be that would give you a big impact in your thinking and how you will be responding to a certain situation, based on your knowledge. And it's easier for you to learn more if you have more present schemas. Okay, the more that you have your schemas, okay, or the more that you can retrieve better from your schema, okay, the easier for you to learn something. Then second concept is your metacognition. Okay, metacognition evolved from the study of information processing. That's like what we have presented on the first part of this video lecture. It's about thinking about one's thinking. Okay, it's just like saying you know what you don't know, and you know what you know. Okay, it's sort of you engage your own self-thinking. Okay, these process learners used to gauge their thinking while reading, studying, trying to learn, or solving. Okay, for example, um, if you try to review for examinations or for board examinations, there are times you may say there are still a lot of topics, lot of principles that I do not know yet, and I have to focus um, on this part of the book or this set of topics. I have a good foundation of this one. I have good knowledge on this one. I have good stock knowledge and I can retrieve this more. So I'll be giving this less attention and focus on the others. Okay, so that's how you usually gauge, usually assess your own knowledge. Okay, and you may realize this while you are reading, while you're studying, while maybe you are watching videos and trying to learn something or solving a particular situation or application of what you have learned. Okay, and a reference would say some people are intelligent novices. They um, they are intelligent novices because they know what they know and they know what they don't know yet. Okay, and what makes them more intelligent is they are going to do something in those aspects that they do not know yet. Okay, and maybe that's a good um, attitude for us also to portray or to practice. Then number three, we have memory. Okay, for memory, it's the consolidation function in the memory process. Items are usually stationed or being stored in memories. Okay, especially those topics, those information, those knowledge or data that is very interesting to us. Those information that we know that is important to us. Okay, the present and in the future. Okay, the more we connect new information to old, there is a tendency that the more we ruminate over new information and the more frequently we recall and think about it, the more long lasting it will be. Okay, the more you apply it, the more you study it, um, the more you recall it, the more it will be lasting. Okay, the more that you apply it, it will be more lasting. Although there are some times that usually your memory like tricks you, okay, your brain tricks you. The more we recall a certain situation, a certain topic, there is a chance, okay, that you actually forget, okay, or change some moments or some memories. Okay, it's like when you try to recall a certain story and one would say that's not the real story that happened, this is the one. Okay, or you try to um, put in, okay, something on a certain hole or blank, okay, in your story. Okay, and that's one danger, okay, in recalling, okay, stories or memories. Then that's the word you try to construct, okay, to fill in the hole, okay, rather than retrieving the real one. Okay, and we take fragment of memories and construct new one. That's also a very danger, okay, in problems in retrieving your old information. Um, Many theories believe in memory retrieval rather than memory construction. Okay, because as we have said, memory construction can be more dangerous, okay, than retrieval. But the difficult part is sometimes we have problems in retrieving. But having the right cues, okay, right signals helps us to remember, okay, the memory, the information, especially if it is stored well, okay, in our knowledge packs. And information that's meaningful to the person may be retained very well, as we have mentioned, versus those information that is meaningless and tend to be forgotten. It can be deliberately forgotten, or it can be unconsciously forgotten. And studies show that a person can hold about 7 times in short memory before forgetting it. And to go beyond 7 times, you use mental strategies. Okay, like pure repetition of concepts. Okay, this is to serve only to extend duration or to lengthen your memory about it. But at times, over the years, okay, especially if you do not apply that prolonged um, memory, there's a chance still that you will forget it. Then for chunking, another strategy very successful to go beyond 7 times. Chunks are usually formed, okay, when information is clustered into pattern. Okay, chunking is the process of organizing parts of objects into meaningful wholes. Okay, the whole is usually remembered as a unit instead of individual parts. Okay, so example of chunking according to Gagne is remembering the phone numbers. So chunks are the different individual numbers of a mobile, and or usually if you see it in a reference in the paper, it is usually separated by dashes. Okay, so that's example of chunk. Words also, okay, a series of individual letters. Then what's this, try to organize it, the letters, to make um, a new word, okay, or a word. Just like when you study medical terminologies, the way to enhance your memory is your teacher will be dissecting the different what's this, prefixes, the suffixes, and the root words. Okay, so that is chunking. Okay, so then under memory also is the flip side of memory is forgetting. Okay, flip side of memory is forgetting. So hypothesis of forgetting: one is the connections are weakened, okay, in your memory. So it can be caused by non-use of this memory, non-retrieval of this memory, because a person has maybe, let's say, brain disease that affects the memory. And the most common cause of forgetting is interference. Okay, usually what interferes your memory is the new memories. Okay, and you have difficulty of connecting it with the old memory that you have. Then second hypothesis is there is no right stimulus or cue or hint or signal signs that can help you retrieve a certain memory. Then third is the attention, the interest that you're giving to a certain information, data, or knowledge or topic. Okay, so if your attention is less, so meaning you have the tendency to forget it. Okay, so if you have the intent to learn it partly because you do not see the importance of it, so higher chances of forgetting it. The number four concept is transfer. Okay, transfer. So we have learning. Okay, we have memory, and we have also metacognition. The fourth concept of cognitive theory is transfer. Okay, this is the ability to take the information, the memory that you have learned in one situation and apply it to another situation. Okay, in our case, in nursing, transfer of learning is what teaching is all about. Okay, that is very important. That's why if you can see most of our examination, most of our learnings is focused on analysis, critical thinking, and of course application. Okay, factors affecting transfer of memory to the stored one to application or transfer is one, the extent to which material was originally learned. Okay, the extent to which material was originally learned. If you have it, if you learned it well, okay, you this means you may transfer it easily or apply it easily. Okay, and you have learned it well. Okay, second factor is the ability to retrieve information from memory. Okay, the easier for you to retrieve a certain information from your memory, the easier you are going to or you can transfer it. You can apply it, okay, in a certain scenario or situation. And third, if the way in which the material was taught and learned. Okay, so you have the tendency to remember also how it was taught, how it was written, how it was demonstrated, okay, through a certain material, right? Just like when you have your notebooks or notes, if that is your material, um, you know where you have written it down, how you wrote it, what color of highlighter did you use to retain that memory, did you put a star, right? So it's the way also, for example, for teachers, if your teacher is so animated in teaching it using some hand signals, or if it's a performance task or activity or a procedure, that will also help you. Okay? That material uh, you have seen or watched also enhances your learning, okay, or in your transfer. Just like when you imitate your instructor in doing a certain procedure, especially if it's your first time, and you try to imitate what your teacher have done. Okay, so for these concepts, okay, um, emphasizing concepts and principles, then facts. Okay, it's like what is the reason or what we call rational or rationale for some um, of doing this, of applying this, by doing this intervention, by doing these actions. What is the reason? What is the concept behind? What is the principle behind? Okay, that's not only knowing the facts, but knowing the concepts and principles behind the facts. Okay, what is the science behind this? And when you say transfer, there is, according to a certain um, to the book of Sandra De Young on health education, there is positive transfer and negative transfer. Positive transfer presents learning is enhanced by past learning, okay? And negative transfer is the past learning interferes with the present learning. So for negative learning, you tend, the more that you are being exposed or you're encountering new information, you tend to forget the old ones. Okay? It's like when you were asked by teacher in your finals period and the concept is during prelims or midterms, you tend to forget it. Right? You focus more on the new topics, on the new information given. Okay. Then third, so we're done with behaviorist theories, we're done also with cognitive theories, moving forward to the learning theories or learning theory by Albert Bandura, which is social learning theory. Okay? Yeah, to simplify, okay, his theory and learning, people learn as they are in constant interaction with the environment, especially with the people around them. Okay, most learning occurs as a result of observing others' behavior and the result or the consequence of the others' behavior. Okay, so that's what you call modeling. Okay, according to Bandura, models or modeling is very important in someone's learning. And there are also attentional processes and retention processes according to this theory. Attentional processes determine which model behavior will be learned. Okay, so you are giving attention to certain models. Okay, and people perceive and attend only a certain number of model behaviors. So not everything is being attended to. Okay, especially if you have noticed that this behavior is important for you. This behavior will help you in the future in certain situations, alike situations. Okay, so that's attentional process. For retention processes, its ability to retain model behavior in permanent memory. Okay, people must retain a mental image of a model behavior or verbal symbol that is easily recalled. Okay, and for what's this, for a certain practicality, okay, for the sake of practicality and or putting it into practice, application, transfer, rehearsals are very important way of retaining learning, okay, or the retention of that certain behavior. Okay, okay. So according to Bandura, also of this theory, motivation for learning will determine which model behaviors are enacted. So the motivation, the goal, the expectation is very important of a certain person, of a certain learner is very important. Okay, so meaning others whom he sees as meeting his or her goals, okay, meeting his uh, expectations, okay, those models will be, or behaviors of those models will be retained and enacted. Okay, for example, when you were asked, do you have some nurse models that influence you, okay, on becoming a nurse, or what to be is a nurse? Okay, so that is also asked, right? Motivation comes with possibility of valued outcomes as opposed to unrewarding or punishing. Okay, so when you say motivation is something that is positive, okay, it's more of a reward for yourself, for that learner, rather than unrewarding or punishing. Okay, usually learners will, other books will say, will learn more on rewards, okay, rather than the punishment, rather than applying punishment. So that book says a person will enhance more in learning when he or she is praised, right? Given gifts or rewards, okay, rather than being reprimanded or given disciplinary actions. Okay, and role modeling. Okay, this is the model, okay, of social cognitive theory by Bandura. If you try to translate it into a model, so there's an external, there are external processes and a certain internal processes. Okay, so the external processes involves the model again. Okay, the model demonstrates behavior which is perceived by the learner, and this is usually reinforced, okay, by models which facilitates or inhibits learning of a certain behavior. And since the learning is happening through observation, meaning that the learner does not have a direct experience, it's considered to be a vicarious experience, meaning you learn from the experience of others. Okay, and This is what we have mentioned earlier, the attentional uh, processes and retentional processes. Okay, we have attentional phase refers to observation of the role model, okay, giving attention to that certain model, and you retain, you process, you retain in the memory, okay, what you have learned through that certain model. And the memory guides performance of model's actions. That's your reproduction phase. And the motivational phase refers to the influence through the vicarious experience or reinforcements. And the last stage is external processes. The learner, after the internal processes, okay, tends to perform what he or she learned from a certain model. Okay, so role modeling here is the central concept, okay, of this theory. Okay, the more, as an example, a more experienced nurse who demonstrates desirable attitudes and behaviors sometimes is used as a mentor or a model for a less experienced nurse. Or, for example, you as a student, you have also nurses or teachers as your role models. Okay, vicarious reinforcement is another concept in this social learning theory, and it involves viewing other people's emotions, viewing, in simpler terms, you are observing, you are viewing the own learning, own consequences of a certain model. Okay, and from that results, from that consequences, from that emotions of a role model, if you have seen that he or she is rewarded or he or she is punished, okay, it will affect your learning. Okay, so you may imitate it or not. Okay, because based on what you have seen, based on the experience of others, and being punished, being rewarded, still, though even there are differences in preference, still can lead to a certain level of learning. Okay, whether it's through punishment or through rewards. Okay, there's still influence in learning. Okay, so um, role models, okay, experience of others, okay, are very important in this type of learning theory. Okay, so that's it. This is the second part of that learning theory video lecture series. So in the next video lecture series, we're going to discuss on the different types of learning and the different learning styles. Okay, and hope to see you there. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment your learnings. And thank you, and see you in the next video lecture series. God bless.